Hi, my name is Renato Raseta. I'm a project coordinator for a Karst Odyssey project. We're here in 2011, July 19th. We're exploring one of the caves on the project called Bastasice. The source of the cave is right behind me here.
So like many other countries, Bosnia is tremendously interested in knowing more about their natural resources. There's a lot of caves here in Bosnia and Herzegovina. We're trying to get to know those caves by exploring them, mapping them, shooting video and taking pictures like we've done this year.
So we have kind of a format we approach when doing a project like this, and the first dive is actually kind of a scouting dive. That means I took Matej from Slovenia with me. We went into the cave and we took our time actually taking a very thorough look at the cave. How's it going, what are specific features which might be interesting for the filming, which parts really stick out, which looks nice, where can we put proper lighting. We actually spent a little more over an hour doing that, which gave us a pretty good idea of how to run the documentation part of the project.
The significance of this source is kind of connected to the Second World War, and there is a lot of folklore around this place. The president of former Yugoslavia, President Tito, used to hide in these parts here during one of the largest offensives during the Second World War, and I think there is a significance around this source because the German paratroopers, as they landed in Drvar, they were looking for Tito in a specific cave that was on the other side of the town, which was the information that was leaked to the Germans. But in fact, Tito was hiding in a small dry cave just above this source. In terms of cave, we've been diving this cave for the last 4 or 5 years. It's a magnificent source. It's a very it's a sort of a classical spring. It's a single tunnel, lovely visibility.
We came here last year and we came back continuing the exploration efforts. In the last 3 days we kept going where we left last year. So basically we spent 3 days diving. The first day was mainly set up, preparing the equipment and making sure everything was working properly. And then on the next days we kept going on the main tunnel. Basically we were expecting the tunnel to keep going for quite some time, some distance actually. And in reality on the second day what we faced was a ascending slope. So the profile of the cave was much different compared to what we expected at the very beginning.
So the cave here in Bastasice runs for 200 meters at a depth of 30 meters before getting to a shaft. So the shaft goes straight down to 55 meters, and once at 55 meters you hit a sand slope that runs down to 74 meters. At this point in time the cave goes straight back up to about 55 meters, stays at 55 meters for a good 15 minutes before dropping down to a depth of about 74 again.
So we came back and the next day we had to adjust our programs and adjust our mixes in order to ascend into the cave to a shallower depth. On the opposite of what we were expecting, like a big main tunnel which was kept going, the reality was a slope which let us surface into a big chamber. The dimensions of the chamber is roughly 20 meters wide for 30 meters of height, and there is a nice big waterfall coming from the right side of the wall. Actually, the water coming from the waterfall is more or less the same volume of the river.
So first I want to check out how that looks. You guys just go down. I mean, this edge is what, like 27?
30.
30?
Really, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's going to be 36-metre bottles.
Yeah,
here.
36-metre bottles are here, sort of just clipped off right on the
But that's
leg,
what you
yeah.
guys will do.
Yeah.
A little bit more in
Closer,
that direction
yeah.
to me and come down. So just look at me and make sure that your light is not pointing where I am. So if I'm here and you're pointing your light like that. The second day was actually aimed at showing different parts of the cave and its size, because the main passage is relatively big actually, and that's quite a challenge to show that. So to make that work, we need some divers in there. So yesterday we went in, brought a team of 2 divers in there, 2 lighting guys, and actually stage 2 divers transporting through the cave and 2 divers lighting that, which actually worked really well. So I think all in all, including the footage we have from the guys doing the exploration, because we put a little camera on their scooters as well. The stuff we have been doing, the mapping, the stuff we probably will do tomorrow is trying to shoot a little bit of laying of the line, doing a little bit of footage of the surface. I think it will be a perfect, complete document and very successful project goal which we achieved here in Bosnia.
It's not unusual in some of the European caves that after winter and a tremendous amount of water coming out of the caves, that when we come in late spring or early summer, the guidelines are broken. So that was clearly established on the first day.
Unfortunately, the cave keeps going up shallower and shallower and shallower until we got to the surface, a dry part of the cave, where there is a waterfall coming out of the wall with a very, very tall ceiling of 30 meters. It seems that the cave actually stops right there. We're pretty convinced that it stops there. So for us, the exploration here is finished.
Like in many other countries around the world, Bosnia and Herzegovina are willing to sponsor projects just like ours to know and understand a little bit more about their natural resources. There is a lot of underwater caves in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and the exploration has really just started only a few years ago. We are doing the exploration, the mapping and the survey to bring to the people here, specifically the local people, an idea of what's laying for them underground. On top of that, we're trying to take as much video and photography as possible to give them a clear picture of underwater caves that they may or may not see one day.
Pa ovako, moja uloga, ja sam inače direktor ovog projekta i zajedno sa svojim klubom obezbjeđujem logistiku koja se tiče same ekspedicije.
Boris's role in the project is he's a project director and he's responsible for ensuring that all of the logistics are ready for the project every year. So he is really ensuring that all of the gases are prepared, all of the bottles are pumped and ready for diving, all of the transportations to the difficult locations are prepared and ready. And typically some of this logistical preparation actually takes between 6 to 3 months. Yeah. The kind of long and you know, the shorter aspirations for project and where we want to take it is really making sure that local people understand the importance of fresh water resources. As the country is developing, we want to make sure that they receive the information that they require for their planning, for their town, when they're planning their towns. So we have 3 GUE cave divers trained in Bosnia who are continuing to sort of check the status of the caves throughout the year, and they also very actively participate during the projects during the summertime. In terms of project's future, we're really seeing a lot more activity going on here. We're possibly going to try and expand into multiple trips. We're possibly going to try and enlarge the team so we can cover more ground and we can produce a lot more work.